Hi, KC8ZKI, the QRP guy, back with part 2 on the QR20. I think we left off, we had just shown you how to use the split key to do split operations. You could use split operations for doing HF split when somebody's working 5 up. Or in this case here, I'm showing how you can do a 2 meter offset split where you're transmitting on the VFOB frequency and receiving on the A frequency. So there I would be listening 147.135, transmitting 147.735, and again I hold down the split and I can change my transmit subaudible tone there. They're showing there the 110 hertz. So let me get out of that. Now let's go into the menu because I think I've covered every other button. Well, except for the push to talk, which is pretty self-explanatory, right? Okay, here we go. We've got a list of icons on the menu. The first one, DMR, that's a real teaser. We'd all love to have DMR in this rig now, but that's for future. The second icon is a call, is what they call it, auto call. And I think what you can do here is you can put a series of text into each of those slots, and you can assign a soft key so that when you are in CW mode or RTTY mode, you've got 4 macros to choose from. So sort of like an auto keyer. I haven't tried that yet, so I can't really show it here now. The next one there, that DIR, that comes up and says insert GPS module. So DIR stands for direction. I don't have the GPS module. I assume that's another optional. QChat, please insert a LoRa module. So if I had a LoRa module, I could do QChat. Phone, what does phone do? Nothing. Nothing at all. I don't know what that does. Message, nothing at all. Music, open your phone music. So that looks like if I was connected by Bluetooth to my phone, I would be able to open the music on my phone and play the music through the radio. Maybe I could transmit the music, I'm not sure. VSWR is a setting that allows you to do a, oops, let me go back into that. That lets me do a Vswr sweep of my antenna. So you see I move over to start. I can see here, because I'm in the 2 meter FM band, it's going to sweep from 134 to 174 megahertz. If I hit start, it would sweep and give me a VSWR graph across that frequency. It does not continually sweep, it does one sweep. If any of you have ever seen the VSWR sweeper on the G90 Zygu, it continuously sweeps. It's a fantastic tool for setting an antenna. You can work with your antenna. I've got an ATAS manual antenna. I could be 15 feet away adjusting that ATAS, looking back at that radio, and I can see when that line gets to the bottom. This is just a single sweep, very similar to the ICOM IC705's sweep where you click the microphone however many times. I think you can adjust it on there from 5 to 13 and get yourself a sweep. So this is very similar to that. APRS currently says please insert GPS module. So I'm assuming if I had a GPS module, I could also send APRS messages. Maybe I can send anyway, just FM. But I haven't tested that yet, so I don't know. Okay, here's your set menu. In the set menu, you've got the key LEDs on or off. That's the backlight for the keys. You've got out of band enable. That mode there will turn on and off your out of band. Now you would think you just change that right here to on off. You actually have to go to the very top item, hold down the PA, and then it comes up input password. And you'll have to input a password. You can look up that password online. It's available if you Google it. I'm not going to enter it right now because I've already done that. And what that will do then is once you enter that password, it will open up another menu down here, which is not there now, but all the way at the bottom there'll be a menu that has ITU zone, and you can go in there, or IARU, I think that's what it says. And you'll be able to set the ITU zone to your zone, because as this came to me, it was set to an ITU zone where the frequency above, on 40 meters above 7.2 megahertz was blocked. So by going in there and setting it to my ITU zone, I was able to unlock that, and also it seemed to unlock everything. I basically was able to transmit anywhere up to, I tested it up to 462 megahertz and couldn't find anywhere that I tried that it didn't operate. I tried above 2 meters, I tried above 70 centimeters. I didn't try below 10 meters, but you know, from what I've read, it will transmit there also. So there's some other settings in here that are interesting. Vswr Protection. That particular setting was set, I believe, to 3 by default. It might have been 2. It was either 2 or 3. And I noticed that if I whistled into a good match, this light would flash high SWR. And because it's always on when you're transmitting, but it would flash. And that was very alarming. So I raised that Vswr protection to 4, and now it doesn't do that. Vswr tuner was set to 3.0 out of the box. So I assume what that does is it has your tuner stop at 3.0. If it matches 3.0 or better, it stops. So I changed that to 1.5. So I make it work a little bit harder to find a better match, and it does seem to find a better match every time. So I was happy with that. Fan auto on. I mean, I would imagine, why would you want the fan off? The fan is not loud. I haven't heard the fan. And I've got the radio quite warm at times, and I haven't heard the fan, so I don't think you would want to turn that off. You can, though, set the fan temperature here. It's currently set to 45, which I assume is Celsius. It would only make sense, right? Here's second, minute, hour, where you can set the time, LED brightness, backlight, key volume, transmit enable. When you get this radio from Radioditty, it comes without being enabled to transmit. So this is where you would go in this menu to turn that transmit on. And again, that will be in an ITU zone that restricts transmit above 7.2 megahertz. So if you're in an ITU zone like the United States, where you want to transmit above 7.2, you'll definitely want to do both the transmit enable and the password for the out of band. So that's everything on the menu. I've had some requests from some people online that said, how did you connect this to a computer? So I'm going to go through that right now. So all you have to do to connect this to a computer, let me turn this off, is plug a USB-C cable, and it comes with one, into the small USB outlet on the back of the radio. Plug the USB into your laptop. The other end, this is a USB-A end. The other end. It doesn't go in the HDMI port. I'm getting old, they all look the same. Okay, so I plugged it in. Nothing happened because the radio is not on. So we'll fire the radio up. And I didn't hear the laptop, but Device Manager responded. And if you open Device Manager on your this is a Windows 10 laptop, you'll see, let's see, I apologize for this, I'm not the greatest videographer. You will see that it installed a USB serial device and gave it a COM port number, and it installed a sound card. USB Q900 is what it's called. So you could configure either of those into any of your amateur radio software. for instance, WSJT, which is very popular right now for FT8. You would use that USB Q900 sound card in your configuration for the sound card. You would use the comport 3 to connect to the radio for cat control. And when you're connecting to this radio, you want to connect as a FT817, a Yaesu FT817, and the baud rate is 9600. I don't see any menu on the QR20 where you can go in and change that baud rate. It is set at 9600. It's set as an FT817 for cat protocol, and that's what you have to set in your software. If you do that, it will work. Windows 10, as you can see, is very simple. You plug it in, it instantly installs. You don't have to download any drivers. You can start using it right away. If you happen to be using Windows 7 still, which a lot of people are, a lot of people liked Windows 7. I liked Windows 7. I still use Windows 7 on some machines. If you're using Windows 7, it's a little more difficult because what you have to do is you have to go to the Radioditty site. This is a little tiny machine here. So you have to go to Radioditty site and you have to download the Win7 drivers. I already did that, so I'm not going to do that now. But you download the Win7 drivers. They download as a zip file. It will be named the Radioddity QR20 driver and installation guide. You're going to unzip that, okay? When you get that zip file, you're going to unzip it. It contains several other zipped directories, this STM32 setup, a VCP driver. You're going to unzip the STM32 setup. You're going to open that. You're going to run the VCP v1.4.0 setup. I could run it again now. I don't think it'll hurt to run it again. It'll probably ask me to repair rather than install because I've already run it. You have to bear with me. This is a 15-year-old EPC notebook. It wasn't fast in its day, and it's certainly not fast compared to today's machine. So I'm just going to hit repair. All that's really going to do is overwrite any config files that it's already configured. And there you go. So I've done that. So that's step one. Then you're going to come back over here, and you're going to unzip the VCP driver. Now you've got that unzipped. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files here. So what do you do with these 5 files? Well, you follow these instructions back here. When you originally unzipped, it says Win7 driver installation guide. And in that Win7 driver installation guide, it tells you exactly what to do. Unzip the STM and run the setup. We already did that. Open C program files, STMicroelectronics Software Virtual comport driver Win7 folder, and run dp inst_amd.exe. So that's step 2, right? So you need to do that. So you would go in here and you would open another Windows Explorer. You would go to the program files. What did it tell us? It told us to go to what was that path again? Program files, 86, STMicroelectronics. So there's our program files. I can't find it. You know what? This video is 14 minutes long, so I'm going to stop it here and not go through all that, because all you really have to do is follow these instructions. You're going to go to C program files, STMicroelectronics Software Virtual comport driver. You're going to run that dp inst AMD, And it says plug your QR20 into your PC via the USB and see if it can automatically recognize it. If it doesn't, then, you know, continue down, right? Mine didn't, so I continued down, and I replaced and overwrote the USB SER sys file in C Windows System 32 drivers. And then I also copied these 3 files to C Windows INF, the other 3. There's actually 4, so I copied all 4. It said 3, but when I came over here, I see there's 5. So they told you to copy this one, and then they told you to copy, they told you to copy 3 of these over to that inf directory. I copied 4 because I thought, well, you know, these 2 go together. These 2 certainly go together, so why would I copy 3 of 4? Maybe that's a little trick to see how intelligent you are. I don't know. But I copied all 4. And then, after doing that, I was able to do the exact same thing that I did on my Windows 10 machine, which was just plug in the unit. You heard it on this one. And if I go to Device Manager, spoiled by modern fast machines now, aren't we? Okay, and there you go. You'll see I've got, now on this one it says STMicroelectronics Virtual comport 6. So it's named a little different on Windows 7, but rest assured that is the QR20. And then the sound card is still called the same thing on Win 7. It's still a USB Q900. So in that case, if I launch do I have WSJTX on this little machine? Thought I did. Yes, I do. Picking up. It wants to play radio. This Win 7 laptop is very slow. Okay, so there we go. It came up configured. You'll see it says 135, and on the front of the radio is 135. So I already previously configured this, but let me go through the configuration steps so that you can see. So when I go into settings on WSJT, I go to radio. You can see here that I've got it on the FT817 COM6. That was that virtual STM comport that we saw. And again, on Windows 10 will just be called comport, I believe. And then there's my baud rate, 9600, and I just left it on the default for data bits, stop bits, and handshake. And over here I've got push to talk method, cat, mode, data packet, split operation, rig. And then you can always test your cat. If you get the green, then you're good. You've got cat control. Then you go over here to audio, and you make sure you select microphone, USB, Q900, speakers, USB rather, Q900. Both mono. Okay, and now you're set. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect an antenna to the radio. And we're not going to hear any 2 meter, so let's go to 20 meters. There's always FT8 on 20 meters. And there you go. There's the radio. Receiving FT8. And you can probably see it coming down the waterfall. And that's pretty darn sensitive, because if you look at my antenna, it's literally a wire laying on the ground in my living room. It's got a hot receiver. That's pretty much it. Any of your other radio software is going to connect, you know, in a similar manner using the same settings. So if you like this video, click like and subscribe, and I'll be sure to make some more videos. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments, and I'll be glad to try and answer your questions. Take care, and 7-3.